Ghost of Tsushima, one of the most critically acclaimed games to come out in recent years that I haven't played yet.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Listen, I know, I'm sorry. I've been trapped in the FIFA/FC cycle for years now, and I'm glad I finally put that in the bin and broadening my gaming horizons. But anyways, all that aside, and with the highly anticipated follow-up game Ghost of Yotei releasing very soon, I thought now would be the perfect time to play and get the Platinum Trophy for Ghost of Tsushima. Not only will I be attempting to get the Platinum before the release of Yotei, which as of starting this playthrough September 9th and Ghost of Yotei dropping on October 2nd, but I, much like some of my fellow trophy hunting creators, I will be attempting to do this on the lethal difficulty. Needing to go through the story and side quests, gathering all the collectibles and mastering the combat in order to get all the trophies, strap yourselves in as we step into the shoes of Jin Sakai and explore the incredible world of Ghost of Tsushima. Our journey for the Platinum Trophy begins by introducing us to our protagonist of the game, Jin Sakai, a samurai struggling with guilt after watching his father get cut down as a young boy. But alongside his uncle Lord Shimura, the pair would lead an army of samurai into battle against the invading Mongols. Despite our best efforts at driving the Mongols back, we would get a slight taste of what the lethal difficulty is really like. Jin, however, would be shot in the back a couple times and pass out, all while we're introduced to the antagonist of the game, Khoten Khan. He attempts to get Lord Shimura to surrender in an attempt to save the Japanese people, but after refusing, the Khan would take him hostage. Jin would later awaken with his wounds treated, and we meet the love interest of the game, Yuna. You'd actually assume she's just quite a helpful civilian, but no, it turns out she's a thief, and she's actually quite good with a knife. Oh! Did she just stab him right thing she stabbed? Oh. We stress to Yuna we need to get our family katana back, and she leads us to the house of the villager she sold it to. And after getting our sword back, we get one of the coolest shots in the game. After retrieving our sword and dealing with a few more Mongols, we acquire a new horse to be our companion for the game. I promise you nothing bad happens to him later. We would then unlock our first of 52 base game trophies, Gathering Storm. We would then ride for Castle Canada, where we would finally confront the Khan, which I definitely did not struggle with. Oh! Oh! Fuck's sake. Jin then gives the Khan a fresh new cut, which the Khan returns in kind by showing us what the Undertaker did to mankind. However, thanks to being the protagonist of the game, we survive the fall and regroup with Yuna. She tells us her brother has been kidnapped by the Mongols, but she will help us free our uncle if we help her free her brother. This is ultimately where things get really conflicting for Jin. While looking for Yuna's brother, Jin realizes this needs to be carried out quietly. This is a major plot point as this goes against the way of the samurai, which Jin has lived by his whole life. But after turning this game into a Japanese Assassin's Creed, we unlock our next trophy, so aptly named Point of No Return. After gathering some information that Taka had been moved to Azamo Bay, and you know, because of my experience with the lethal difficulty so far, I decided I had to step away from the story and level up to improve my equipment and stats. To do this, I would start the collectible grind of the game, which would prove useful for a trophy later in the video. See, located around the 3 regions of Tsushima, there are 4 different collectibles that increase your stats. The bamboo strikes to increase your total resolve, the hot springs to increase your maximum health, the Inari shrines to unlock extra charm slots, as well as a feature that should have won this game of the year, and lastly the Shinto shrines, which would unlock said charms and add bonuses to the stats. And while exploring the first region, Izuhara, I would unlock a bunch of miscellaneous trophies. Hero of the People for liberating 12 of the Mongol territories in Izuhara, Lost and Found for finding and collecting my first sword kit from a Pillar of Honor, a moment in time for accidentally opening the photo mode, Flash of Steel for defeating 20 enemies with a counterattack after a perfect parry, Open for Business for successfully staggering 50 enemies, Witness Protection for shooting a terrified enemy with an arrow, and lastly Honor the Unseen for bowing to 10 hidden altars. With all that said and done, we'll come back to the collectibles a little bit later in the video, as we won't be able to finish all those until the 3rd act of the game anyways. Much like where I spent more time getting Jin leveled up next, the side quests. First up among these side quests were the Mythic Tales. These are stories of old legendary samurai warriors told to us by the musician Yamato. These tales would let us unlock new weapon kits or even full sets of armor. I may not have used it, but tell me this set of armor does not go hard. But through the Mythic Tales we could also unlock new sword techniques that are actually pretty broken. However, in order to unlock these techniques, we'd have to defeat a mini-boss in a duel, and on lethal difficulty, these duels can actually be pretty intense. But with that said, it's time to duel!
you better.
Ah, it's so fast-paced. Sorry, I know I didn't just hear Sean Schemmel yelling at me. It's no wonder I can't win the f***ing duel. It's fucking Goku! But after some time bashing my head against the wall and constantly sticking at it, we'd eventually learn the Heavenly Strike, and we'd use it to help us win the duel. Now with all the side activities available to me done, and Jin increasing in strength, I move back to the main story where we need to recruit more people to help us rescue our uncle. First was Sensei Ishikawa, a skilled archer samurai who is trying to stop a former student from rebelling and training the Mongol forces. Next is Lady Masako, a samurai who is seeking revenge after discovering all of her family being wiped out. But we'll dive deeper into those two as well as someone else a little later in the video, but for now, let's talk about our next recruits, the Straw Hat Ronin. The Straw Hats... Why does that keep happening? Anyways, they're essentially a band of samurai who serve as mercenaries across the Isle of Tsushima, led by our longtime friend, Ryuzo. After helping locate some food for his men, Ryuzo swears to us we would have their full support at Castle Canada. I'm sure he won't change his mind on that. And we unlock the trophy, Company of Wolves. With all our allies recruited, we moved on and freed Yuna's brother Taka from his captors in Azamo Bay. I'm sure he didn't mind the wait, he was in captivity long enough anyways. And not only would we earn the Stoking the Flame trophy, but also a new nickname, the Ghost of Tsushima.
There it is! There it is!
With the Avengers assembled, we would be ready to storm Castle Canada and free our uncle. But first, we had to deal with Ryuzo, who would have seen that one coming. And given the preparation I had done earlier, this duel wasn't too bad. Oh, please! You're seriously telling me the Heavenly Strike did not kill him?
I'll make it quick.
How about I make it quick? Never mind.
There was no other way.
Oh, that's so embarrassing. How about that? And with Ryuzo taken care of, as well as clearing out more of the Mongol forces, we would finally be reunited with our uncle and lock in the family reunion trophy. As well as a fight for the Isle for liberating all of Izuhara. Now with the Khan and Ryuzo fleeing the scene and taking over Castle Shimura, Jin and his uncle would form a plan of attack in order to reclaim ownership of their castle. But first, Unk wanted us to go and put on our father's armour, telling us that wearing it was our birthright. Man, I'm so pleased with that trophy setup. After doing more of the side activities and unlocking a bunch of trophies, I then moved on to saving the village of Yarikawa, recruiting more of the samurai there to help us with our attack on Castle Shimura. But before launching the attack, we learn that Ryuzo is camping out at Fort Koyasan. I'm really struggling with these Japanese names, you know. Jin heads out to confront Ryuzo to make him pay for betraying his people, but this wouldn't end too well for Jin. We'd regain consciousness and find we'd been taken prisoner by the Khan along with Taka. This is where things would escalate very quickly. With the loss of Taka, Jin would go on a rampage where we would learn a new technique, ghost breathing, first form. Man, I make these anime references way too easily. I am such a nerd. Following exacting his revenge, we get our next trophy, Dying Embers. Eradicate the traitors in the name of a fallen friend. After burying Taka and honouring his death by playing a specific song on our flute, we unlock our next trophy, Dirge of the Fallen Forge. Now we move on to storming Castle Shimura, where the original plan of taking the fight to the Mongols backfires tremendously. Not only would our relationship with our uncle completely shatter after seeing the dishonourable type of warrior we've become, but the Mongols send horses carrying bombs to destroy the bridge, completely halting any form of attack. In an attempt to not only save the remaining warriors and the Japanese people, Jin would take matters into his own hands under cover of darkness and poison the Khan's army, wiping them all out instantly. Upon entering the castle hunting for the Khan, Jin would once again run into his old friend, Ryuzo.
Where's the Khan?
The road north. Made me stay behind to collect the ghost's head.
Then come claim it.
Hey, Jin's cold. Jin is one of the coldest video game characters, I'm gonna say it. Looking to punish his traitorous actions, Jin would face him for a second time in a duel. And as with any duel, my first attempt went really well.
I won't die by your uncle's hand.
What is it with that one move? But my second attempt, however...
I'll never forgive you.
Didn't really ask you to, mate. With Ryuzo taken care of and giving him an honourable death, we unlock our next trophy. Securing Sanctuary. For liberating all occupied areas in Toyotama. After rejecting our uncle's plea of turning back on the path we're currently walking to become his adopted son, Jin would fully embrace his new identity.
I am not your son. I am the ghost.
But given Lord Shimura is the type of man who lives so strictly by the samurai code, he would have us thrown into captivity for our dishonourable actions. However, this wouldn't last long, as we would have some help escaping. Okay, no, look, believe me, I wish it was the Dragon Zord 2, it would make the game tremendously easier. But it would actually be Kenji. He would distract the guard long enough with the promise of sake, so that we could stealthily make our way to the stables and escape on our horse. But while making our way out of Castle Shimura, our horse would be shot 3 times, and despite his noble efforts of getting us far away from the castle, we'd have to bury our long-term companion. After regrouping with Yuna and the rest of our allies in Kamigata and taking out more of the Mongols with the Ghost Stance, we would unlock the Haunting Precision Trophy as well as the Exiled Alliance Trophy. But at this point, it was time for me to put the story on pause to make a dent in the remaining trophies. This was including the remaining collectibles and side missions. This would net me 2 more trophies, Favour of the Kami for honouring all of the Shinto shrines, as well as Light the Way for relighting all of the lighthouses. And with all the collectibles done, besides from one we'll get to later, I then moved on to the remaining character missions. For Yuna, she sought revenge on the slave traders who had held her and Taka in captivity for most of their lives. Next we moved on to Sensei Ishikawa, and after our run-ins with his former student Tomoe and clearing out her Mongol archery camps, she would help us save Umugi Cove and put an end to the Khan's new archers and then leave to start a new life in the mainland. Now for Lady Masako. Her path would lead us directly to her sister, as she had deceived Lady Masako by faking her own death, and it also turns out she was the one who had her family killed, out of pure jealousy of not being the one to marry the Adachi clan leader, and after confronting her, Lady Masako would avenge her family. And it also turned out Lady Masako's for the streets as she was having an affair with the family maid. I'll probably take that out. Lastly, for character-specific trophies, we meet with Norio, one of the few surviving warrior monks who had been held captive by the Mongols, alongside his brother Enjo, the former guardian of Cedar Temple. We're led to believe he perished in captivity. However, while joining Norio in a battle for Cedar Temple, we would find out his brother was actually still alive, but brutally tortured by a Mongol general named Kachu. Seeing the state his brother was left in, Norio would respect his brother's wishes and end his suffering. This, however, would drive Norio down a very dark path for revenge. After learning of Kachu's location, Jin would accompany Norio to Fort Shuni to help him get his revenge. But while camping out for the night, Jin would awaken and find Norio had already burned down the whole fort as well as burning Kachu alive. Norio expresses his regret for what he's done, but Jin would tell him to carry on regardless of his regret and be the leader of Cedar Temple to honour his brother's legacy. With the side character stories all finished, I cleaned up the remaining mythic tales as well as the final 2 character specific missions to unlock 2 more trophies. Teller of Tales for completing all the mythic tales. After helping Kenji with his problems with the Mongols and spending some quality time reminiscing on the past with Jin's old caretaker Yuriko, we would unlock the trophy Helping Sword Hand. But before moving on and planning our attack on the Khan, there would be a few miscellaneous trophies left to clean up. Every trick in the book for acquiring all the throwable ghost weapon techniques. Monochrome Masters for purchasing an item from both the black and white dye merchants. Gifted for collecting a total of 10 gifts from the altars. Mass Eviction for liberating 7 areas of Kamigata. This would also get us the Ghost of Legend for increasing our legend rank to Ghost of Tsushima. By finding a specific headband and sword kit, as well as purchasing a specific dye from one of the merchants, and equipping all of these items, we get a cool nod to Sly Cooper as we unlock the Cooper Clan cosplayer trophy. And finally we get the Have a Nice Fall trophy for killing an enemy with fall damage.
This is Sparta!
And with that, our remaining trophies are all story related. We were finally on the home stretch to getting the Platinum Trophy, and we head to Port Izumi to deal with the Khan once and for all. With a full-scale assault on Port Izumi and running past a few enemies, we would finally come face to face with Khotan Khan. And honestly, this once again being on the lethal difficulty, this duel was an experience. Oh! I'm gonna revive. Never mind. Right, okay, let's relax. Right. Okay. But on this attempt and learning more of the Khan's moveset, I realised something. Aggression, as well as spamming sweet chin music, would be the way to take down phase 1 of the Khan. I'm gonna try it. Yeah! Although the Khan would attempt to run away and leave the port to invade the mainland, we would give chase and face him on his ship to make sure we would have the Khan's head. And despite dealing with a couple more deaths, It would be thanks to all the preparation I had done earlier in the game, I was able to take down the side soldiers with relative ease, as well as seeing one of the best animations in the game. Oh! And with the help of spamming sticky bombs, we would successfully take down the Khan, and as I said earlier, we would have his head. Oh! Alright, Jin. With the Khan successfully defeated, we would unlock 3 more trophies. Sovereign End for confronting the Khan, a new safe haven for liberating all occupied areas of Kamiyagata, and Master Liberator for liberating the entirety of Tsushima Island. After saving Japan from Mongol invasion, Jin returns home to enjoy some much needed peace and quiet, but unfortunately we would meet with our uncle with news that the Shogun has asked for Jin's head, and his uncle would be the one to try and claim it. With emotions at an all-time high, as well as finally finishing our final haiku, we would unlock the Body, Mind and Spirit trophy. And with that trophy unlocked, it would be time to face our uncle in a duel, and I won't lie to you, Lord Shimmer is built dramatically different compared to every other duel in the game. Oh. Oh. Just didn't do anything. Why am I playing so badly?
You want revenge? Failure. This is not my revenge. It is my punishment.
Come on! Eventually being able to cut Lord Shimmer down, we would face one of the hardest decisions in the game.
Honor me with a warrior's death.
Oh, I don't know what to do. Oh, I don't know what to do. I'll give him his honour. And after choosing to grant Lord Shimmer an honourable death, it would be time to collect our final few trophies and wrap up this masterpiece of a game. Mono no away. Oh no, wait, I think that's in I think it's Mono no arawe. Or no, aware? No. No. I have done that so much injustice, I'm sorry. Mono no away, I'm leaving it at that. Living legend. Platinum trophy for Ghost of Tsushima. Incredible game. And that was the Ghost of Tsushima Platinum. Even though I held off playing for so long, I'm glad I finally did and got the Platinum trophy in my collection. It's genuinely a phenomenal game and it easily gets in my top 10 games of all time. I'd also like to extend a quick thank you to all of you for watching the videos. The growth and support of the channel lately has just been incredible. Considering this is only my 3rd video, we've already unlocked memberships for the channel and we're already pushing for 1,000 subscribers and we've already hit 50,000 views. It's genuinely just been mind-blowing. But with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss the next upload, and I'll see you in my next Platinum.